Hey, fellas, if you thought 2016 was bad, ha, wait till we talk about 2017.
Fucking 2017, awful year, as it turns out. Welcome, folks, to the
2000
Toxic Thought Show, the toxic show for toxic people. We're here celebrating 100 episodes of fun and salt, as well as closing out the 2017 year. How's everyone doing?
Oh, well, you know.
Payback is playing Titanfall 2.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed.
I'm playing the wonderful Battlefront 2.
Really? You
Don't
wonderful,
talk
huh?
about what I'm playing.
Do what? Do what? What did you say, Tox?
You're playing Battlefront 2, huh?
I am.
I wouldn't exactly call it wonderful.
Well, I got an answer for that whenever we get to that topic.
Okay. I don't know what I'll be playing today. I'll probably be playing some Battlefield 1. Can you find it? Which one of these is it? No. Where's my Battlefield 1?
Why you should
There it
digitally
is.
download stuff.
Oh, don't get me started on it. Well, maybe. You're probably right, actually. Payback is echoing.
Bro, I can't hear anybody because I'm so quiet. I don't understand what you want from me.
Well, switch headsets then.
To what? You bitch about every headset I own.
Well, I'm just trying to make things work. I don't know what to tell you. Of course, we have with us Toxic Payback, Panic Ascending, and Living Echoes.
Hi.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Echoes to you.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Chang Bang Go Do Your Own Thing Echoes.
Pokemon Go to the Pole Echoes.
How come I'm the one with all the nicknames?
Well, because I don't know what to tell you.
You just don't know what to tell anyone.
Maybe.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, I see what your issue is. You're playing Ark.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a wild, mutated, forest green Sabertooth.
Whoa.
Why is that bitch green?
Ah.
What's the level on it?
40?
Ah, that ain't good.
But it's
kill it.
green.
Kill it. It doesn't deserve to live if it's 40. It doesn't deserve to look that good and be level 40.
Do you think Deshaun Kaiser is level 40?
I think the Sean Kaiser's minus level 20.
I think he's, like, leveled up a whole bunch, but forgot to put his points into any stats or anything.
He
So
forgot.
That's why he's so bad.
In my case, he forgot to put in his star cards. But he's still failing miserably.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Well, you want to talk about the shitty games you're playing, or you want to talk about how bad the Browns are? Because we were talking about that a little bit beforehand.
Well, let's start with the Browns. Might as well.
All right.
They got something special that's going to happen to them tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a New
We're gonna
Year's
get a
Eve
perfect
special,
season.
after all. Yeah. So, they're 0-15 right now. They've lost every game this season, and tomorrow they're facing the Steelers, who are, what's their score, 12-3? That's their current record?
Yes.
I don't know about their score, but yeah, that's their record.
Well, their record.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm still new to this. Okay, I corrected myself. I said record. Okay, take it easy.
Alright.
They're 12-3, and they're facing the 0-15 Browns. I think it's safe to say that the Browns are going to lose their asses.
Most likely, yes.
Most
But-
likely.
The Steelers, for whatever reason, always play down to their opponents. So that means they're a good team, which they should obliterate the bad teams, but they always like make a really close game of it for whatever reason.
It's almost like they don't take their opponents seriously all the time.
Yeah, and the Browns always play the Steelers hard. Like it's typically a close game with them.
I want to
So,
say
maybe.
last year the Browns on the road against the Steelers were winning 21-7 at one point. At one point, then the Steelers came back and won.
Well, you know, what was it? They faced the Browns faced the Packers, and they gave up a 14-point
Yeah.
lead
Yep.
in the
Late in
fourth
the game.
quarter.
And your boy, Deshaun Kaiser, gave up the worst interception I think I've ever seen in pro football history.
Well,
I've seen some pretty bad plays.
Living and I looked it up,
That was
and
pretty bad.
he's thrown like what? It's like,
It was 9 touchdowns and like 20-something interceptions.
yeah, it was in the 20. Yeah, I think it was like 21 interceptions or something. Here's the thing, though.
You know, one of those careers that you're not going to go and brag about. Yeah, I played NFL football. And they look up your stats. Yeah, but you sucked.
His what was his passing ratings? 58. Yeah, one of the lowest I've ever seen. You know, I know there's going to be a perfect parade because there was a GoFundMe campaign started, and they have over $11,000 to play it off with. They've already got the whole parade like routed out and everything. They're going to do a parade around the stadium, making a 0.
That'd be fun.
Well, the Browns fans got to have something to cheer about. I mean, they're not going to get a Super Bowl anytime soon. They're not going to
We'll
get a
just
win
brag about
anytime
being the
soon
worst.
either. Pretty much.
That's all
I
they
mean,
got going
someone's
for
got to
'em.
be the worst. It's like the freaking Mud Dogs on Waterboy. We ain't won a game since 1994.
It's funny because
That's gonna be their coach one. I seriously think that's how they coach.
I don't know what he said, but we can't do worse than the Browns. They suck. But you know what? I'd rather have that job because they suck. They have no drive to be the best, but they're still making like $1 million.
The only thing they had going for him was that offensive lineman who broke like the NFL record for like the most consecutive snaps.
oh, what was his name?
Joe Thomas.
Yeah, Joe Thomas.
One
Yeah.
of the best, considered one of the best premier left tackles in the game, was like, had an NFL record for how many snaps played in a row, how many games played in a row without missing. And this year, well, he got injured and it forced him out. What was the injury? Does anyone remember?
Um,
It
I
probably
can't-
was either shoulder or leg injury or something like that. But yeah, the one good thing they had going for him got snapped this year.
I'll tell you what, I could probably look it up.
Just look up Joe Thomas. And
Yeah,
you'll
Joe
probably figure
Thomas
it out.
injury. Yeah,
Yeah.
the servers
I've
were
watched-
Battlefield wanted him to shit anyway. So
When the Browns played the Ravens the last time, I've watched the only highlight they show for the Browns was like Kaiser got strip sacked and like the Ravens picked it up for like a touchdown or something like that. And I watched the left tackle. God, that was bad. It was terrible. Like he just like put a hand on the guy, and it was all of a sudden it was bad. It was kind of funny though. Like as soon as he like got around the lineman, defensive end got around him, the left tackle he just kind of like just dove at him.
it was a
Oh, yeah.
tricep injury. That's what it was.
Tricep. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep, that's the Browns for you.
Yep, 0-16. It's one of the bright spots this season. Can't say anything about the Cowboys.
Panic, since you're the college football guy, whose career are they going to ruin this upcoming season?
Well,
this
the
upcoming
funny
draft.
thing is, I've already kind of talked about this a little bit. The quarterback for USC, he kind of made sure that he proved he was Browns ready last night. He's one of those quarterbacks who's like projected to like go high like in the first round, and he's come out to say that if the Browns are looking to draft him, he doesn't want to go in the draft this year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But last
Thing
night
is,
he
don't
like
the Browns have like two top 10 first
Yep.
round picks this season.
That's where first rounders go to die.
Well, they
Well,
just trade.
joke's on him, though.
They trade off their first rounders, don't they?
But the joke's on the kid at USC, because if he's afraid that they're going to pick him this year, I mean, when he goes into the draft next year, they're going to be right there at number 1 again.
Yeah, you got a point. They're gonna pick.
You can't escape the Browns, man.
Can't escape your fate.
I tell you what he's
That
doing.
is your fate.
I tell you what he's doing. He's sitting there and he's hoping that by the time he graduates, the Browns will be disbanded as a team. He's trying to wait them out.
Stay in school, kids. If you
Stay
do,
in
you don't
school.
get picked by the Browns.
The one team I would not want to get drafted by. Any other team.
Poor Browns.
Hey, the Browns, they were good back in the 50s.
Wasn't
Who is that?
Didn't they get turned into the Baltimore Ravens? And they had to restart the franchise or some shit?
They're thinking of the Baltimore Colts.
Well, what happened to the old Browns?
As far as I know, they've always been the Cleveland Browns.
Well, why did they restart the franchise in '99?
Because then the owner died.
I'm looking this up.
This man's gonna learn his Cleveland Browns history.
The only history you need to look at is their history record. I wonder what their all-time franchise record is, like, of all
Me too,
time.
I'd find out.
Okay, in '95 they were relocated to Baltimore.
You're thinking of the Baltimore Ravens,
That's why I said.
because they were once known as the Baltimore Colts.
Yeah, they
And the
moved.
Colts are now Indianapolis.
They moved the team, but Cleveland kept the Browns' name. Yeah, so I was right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Panic. What? I don't know what to say. Okay. The Browns suck. The Browns don't even want to be the Browns.
Just close it at that. The Browns suck again. They're going to go 0-16. Can we just close that out on that?
Speaking of sports, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about all the fights we've seen this year, because there's been a lot. Let's talk about Mayweather and McGregor.
Fights mean... Oh.
Payback, you have the floor on this one.
What's up?
Talking about
McGregor
boxing,
versus
or
Mayweather.
MMA, whatever it is.
Oh, hard work.
Hard work, Jose! That's about the extent of my knowledge.
The only reason I watched it, number one, the person paid for it. Number two, just for the spectacle of it all.
I watched it. Panic and I both watched it. I'm surprised McGregor went as far as he did. That was his first ever professional boxing match, and he did surprisingly well for his first match, especially against Mayweather.
Of course,
And-
Mayweather claimed that he allowed him to do that good. I don't believe that.
I kind of do believe it. I kind of do believe it.
Really?
Yeah, because a UFC fight will go 25 minutes at best if it's a championship fight. Most of the time, it's 15 minutes. A boxing match is 12 rounds, 3 minutes each. Multiply that, so you got 36 minutes. Mayweather knew that, McGregor wasn't going to have the endurance to go that far. It's a smart move, really.
Let him take his shots early, get him, tired and all worked up. And that's kind of what happened was last 3 rounds.
Yeah, fucking Mayweather started picking him apart. It was an entertaining fight. It better well fucking have been as much as they were paid.
Yep. Aren't most pay-per-view fights like $50 and that one was like $100?
I don't know. I didn't pay for it.
You didn't?
I didn't
Well,
pay
neither
for
did
it.
I. Otherwise, if I was going to have to pay for it, I wasn't going to watch it. Just watch some highlights on YouTube. I was going to be a little upset had like all this build-up and it'd be like done in one round.
I thought it was
It's
going to
like
be done in one
any-
round. But we were all
Seriously?
yeah, like I said, we're all hoping that McGregor was going to win, but we all kind of knew that Mayweather was going to win it. We were just hoping that he wasn't going to win it.
Everyone was. we all knew Mayweather was gonna win, but deep down inside, our hearts were going to McGregor.
Oh yeah. What's another fight? I know most guys here don't follow the UFC, but George St. Pierre came back from retirement after 5 years, and he beat the brakes off of fucking Michael Bisping. And he
Congratulations, but I had no idea who that guy is.
Well, here's
Either of them.
Here's the thing. Like, George St. Pierre, he's known as GSP. Like, before he retired, he was like the longest reigning UFC champion. And he retired after his last fight, which he won. And he's basically just, not been fighting for 5 years. And he came back and he fought Michael Bisping, which had the title as the champion in his weight class. So he came over and he beat Michael Bisping and he retook his title. I don't want to say that's pretty fucking impressive to go that long without fighting, and then you come back and you just take your title like those years didn't mean anything. That's pretty good. I don't know if there's ever been like a quarterback that has done that, like left the NFL for like a number of years and then he comes back and he's just as good as when he left, but that's basically what it was like.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning?
Yeah. That's exactly what happened to Peyton Manning.
He didn't
Listen,
retire.
you can agree with that, right? Well,
Peyton
he
Manning
didn't
didn't
retire, but
retire.
like he was injured and everyone thought that he was done. He went to the Broncos and like he was just as good with the Broncos as he was with the Colts.
But
If not better.
I mean, he didn't retire. He was just injured for like a year.
Brett Favre, he retired like 3 times in a row.
But he was never gone for X amount of years.
What about Michael Jordan?
Whoa.
How many times did Michael Jordan say he was going to retire and then he came back?
No, I don't watch basketball.
I don't watch basketball either, but that was like a running joke back in the day. Because he kept trying to do shit like golf and whatever.
I remember
Thought
him
he
doing
was
that
good.
in,
From what I could tell,
what's that movie? Space Jams? Yeah.
Space Jam? Yeah.
what I could tell, like, I guess he was wanting to pursue a career in baseball, and when he figured out he wasn't very good at that, he went back to basketball. I want to say that's what the case was. He kept trying with baseball, but like, he wasn't very good.
Let's see. You know what's going on tonight? Holly Holm is fighting Cyborg. That's been a long-awaited fight.
Who?
It's 2 women UFC fighters. They're fighting right now at this very moment. So I'll be watching.
As we speak.
Yeah, I'll be watching for the decision on that. My money's on Cyborg because Cyborg is an actual man, and she's actually been investigated for using steroids and.
Who's the one that beat Ronda Rousey in like 10 seconds?
Oh my god, I can't remember.
Little girl, right?
I'm looking it up.
What's her name? Holly something?
It was
I don't know.
It was hilarious too, just the fact that Ronda Rousey was talking so much crap, and she got beaten like 10 seconds.
The ones that talk the most shit are the ones that get their asses kicked.
The ones that don't talk.
Are the ones that win.
Yep, all the time.
It was Amanda Nunes. That's who beat Ronda Rousey.
That doesn't sound right.
Amanda
I don't even follow the
Nunes.
sport.
Wasn't that
doesn't sound
like?
right.
I know, like Holly Holmes. Like, what was her? Holly, whatever.
Yeah,
Holm?
Holly Holm.
Holmes. Okay.
Like, go home,
Okay.
boy.
She beat Ronda one time, and then in her Ronda's return, that was the second one who like beat her in like 13 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I don't follow the sport, but yeah, I know that. I guess when it pops up all over social media and YouTube. Speaking
Well, it might not be
of,
popping up much anymore
speaking
with the
of
Ozzy Pie ruining everything.
net neutrality, we should already just move on to it.
Oh my god. This is going to take up the majority of the podcast. Payback doesn't
boys,
even know
hope
what
y'all
net
got-
neutrality is, so we got to explain what net neutrality is.
We should.
Well, y'all do it. Y'all can explain it better.
Well, I actually have a definition right here. It says right here, Net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers must treat all data on the internet the same, and not to discriminate or charge differently by user, content, website, platform, or application. So the concept of net neutrality is like the water. It's like the water system. The water company doesn't care what you use your water for. You can use it to water plants. You can drink it. You can cook with it. You can put it in your car. You can do whatever you want. They're not going to charge you extra for what you do with the water. The same applies to the internet under net neutrality. Nobody should care what you're using the internet for, as long as you get it, and you get it fairly and equally. Well, this son of a bitch named Ajit Pai, which is, I think, the most hated person in the world right now, effectively got rid of net neutrality. So now, internet companies have the ability to charge you depending on what you use the internet for. They may charge you more for playing games versus getting on Facebook. Or they may charge companies more based on what they do.
Or they're going to be like, hey, like freaking internet packages or something. You want to play Xbox Live, get on YouTube? You're going to want this package. And trust me, lightning fast speed for like, and it's not even going to be that. It's going to be like the same amount of speed of what you were already using. You're just paying more. You're just paying extra money for what you were already paying for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're going to open up these fast lanes and these slow lanes. But in reality, they're not going to do jack shit. They're just going to slow everything out, and the fast lanes are going to be just as fast as they were before all this happened. You want to watch Hulu? You want to watch Netflix? Well, you better get the special video streaming package for $4.99. What's that? You get on social media? Well, get the social media package for $2.99. Get the gaming package for $15.99. You get the point. This happens in other countries that don't have net neutrality.
I love what he was saying, like, no need to worry. We need to trust in our internet system. I don't trust them.
I don't trust...
AT&T was supportive of this, and that's going to affect me because we have AT&T.
It's like AT&T has been caught throttling people, and that's with net neutrality. They got caught. Now that there's effectively no rules to stop them, they're not. You think they're not going to take advantage of this? Fucking Ajit Pai used to be an attorney for Verizon. You know who's lacing his pockets.
As soon as he leaves the FCC, hey Verizon, I got a paycheck from me.
The FCC, sponsored by Verizon.
Pretty much.
And then he's all shocked that he's getting death threats and his family's getting threats and everything. I'm not saying that's good. That's a bad thing. But I'm surprised that he's surprised that happened. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
And the messed up thing about this is they were trying to do this over the Thanksgiving holiday.
Oh, they tried. I mean, that's a classic political thing. They sneak shit past us all the time during the holidays. Or they'll do something like they'll rile up something else, so we'll pay attention to that. Whenever our attention's averted, they'll try to pull shit like that. I will say this. Did you know on one of his videos to respond against net neutrality, he did a Harlem Shake, and the inventor of the Harlem Shake is suing the FCC, or he's threatening to sue them.
It's the worst video ever is when he got on there and said, hey, you could still watch cat videos, Harlem Shake videos.
He's like
that
so
ugly,
many years
smug
behind
smile.
everything.
He's so out of touch with reality. He's sitting up there with a scummy Santa suit with a fidget spinner and a Nerf gun. Like, you're not cool. Who the f*** are you trying to appeal to?
No one likes you.
He is the... I really think he's the most hated person right now the world over. I think he is more hated than Trump.
Pretty much.
Trump was probably like, Ajit Pai, you're going to do this for me because I want everybody to hate you and not me, the president.
No, I honestly do think, and I'm being serious here, I honestly think the fact that net neutrality was placed under the Obama administration, I honestly think he's like, oh, it's got Obama's name on it, so it must be bad.
It's true. It's so true.
Say that, but like in your Trump voice.
It's got Obama's name on it, so therefore it's corrupt. It's not good for the American people. show. I want it out. Get it out. But
Panic.
Trump, this helps it. I don't care what it does. It can't be good because it doesn't have my name on it.
You never fail to disappoint, Panic. Spot on.
All seriousness, no, jokes aside, I honestly do think that.
You know-
Granted, Obama did a lot of bad things. but
That's one good
if
thing
there's
he did
one
do.
little thing. If there's one thing that he did, he saved the internet for us.
You know,
And hang on. Another point is, and I'm looking at these so far right-wing people, and that's the thing. Like, everyone wants to make this a Democratic and Republican thing. This is not a political thing. This is for everyone. This is everyone's. This is going to be everyone's issue.
I was actually
Doesn't
going
matter
with
if
that.
you support it or not.
I was actually going to that next point. Yeah, everyone, all the Republicans, or a good chunk of them at least, they're like, they're against regulations and shit. But this is the one thing that does need regulation. I mean, the internet should be considered a utility. Everyone needs to have free and open access to all the information that's out there. I mean, it's practically a right at this point.
And like, I read one tweet, and I just thought it was the stupidest thing ever. It's like, okay, with net neutrality, internet is government controlled. Take away, the internet's free.
No, it does. This shit makes my brain hurt.
And I'm not making that up. I did read that.
Yeah, I've read those too. It's like, they don't have a clue as to how any of this works. That's a very dangerous thing. An idiot that is ignorant of the power they wield.
It's simple. If you like using the internet and you like doing what you do on the internet, and you have no issues with it, then you're for net neutrality.
Here's what I will say though. Here's what's happening. Yes, they voted. They're voting to get net neutrality. What everyone needs to do is they need to write their congressman. They need to write them, email them, phone them, whatever. The best way to do that is to get on a website called battleforthenet.com. I will have a link in the description at some point. But that will tell you what your representative is based on your zip code. You just write them and tell them, I do not agree with what the FCC is doing. Let them know. There's already congressmen out there that are working out bills to protect net neutrality. There's already
there are states that are suing.
Yeah,
the
there are
FCC
already
for
states
this.
that are suing the FCC. So not only is this going through the House, and there are bills being made for it, it's going to the courts. This fight is far from over. All I gotta say to anybody that's listening is don't forget what's going on here. Just because they voted for it doesn't mean that it's over. Write your congressman. Annoy the out of them about this because this is important.
It's kind of maybe a little. I mean, as far as like officially getting rid of it, it's far from over. But like, I'm shocked that it didn't get that much attention nationally.
Well,
It got a lot of attention, but maybe not as much as we hoped.
everyone was more focused on the tax bill that was going on, which that's important too. They rewrote the tax code, which is, that hasn't happened in almost 30 years. That's a big thing too.
Is that a good thing? A bad thing? I don't know.
It's a
What
good
they
thing.
keep
That
claiming
means
is there's going to be more money in your pocket.
Well,
That's true.
what it is that we pay less taxes now, but we got to pay more later. It's a short-term thing. They lowered the tax rate for big businesses from 35% to 21%. And the assumption is that the savings the big businesses are going to make are going to trickle down to everyone. Trickle down economics. It's not going to work. It's never worked. And everyone that makes a shit ton of money, all the high-end, upper-class, citizens,
1%, pretty much.
yeah, pretty much the 1%. I didn't want to use that phrase, but yeah, the 1%, they pay less on their taxes. So all the rich
Who's the
people
1%?
get 1%. Everyone that makes like $150,000 on up, they got a tax break. The businesses got a big tax break, and they're just assuming that that's going to keep the economy going. You know, they're going to spend more. It's going to trickle down into us, but it's not. They're just going to hoard it. So it's kind of good for short term, but it's going to be bad in the long term for people like us.
The ideal is give bigger businesses more money so that way they can give more money to us.
Yeah, because they think that they're going to do something stupid like, raise their fucking hourly wages for their workers, which they're not going to do. That doesn't do them a lick of good. Shall we move on? I want to go to.
Are we done talking about this?
I want to talk about something else that's sports related. Okay. I want to talk about the Overwatch League that Blizzard is pushing hard for. What do you guys?
The league that nobody cares about.
You say that. You say that, but in esports, this is like a really big thing. Like, Blizzard has all these professional teams coming up. Texas has 2. Houston's got 1, and Dallas has one called the Dallas Fuel. You know, they're all getting special skins for all their Overwatch characters, and they're really pushing hard for this esports bullshit. You know, they want to
understand how esports blew up as much as it did.
It's taken a long time for it to get where it is now.
Yeah, I kind of see how it got started. I sort of kind of see an appeal to it, but not really. But with the way Blizzard's doing everything with this Overwatch League thing, I really can't pay attention. I tried watching, an esports Overwatch match. I could not watch it. I got 5 seconds in and I just can't do it. For one, it's way too difficult to watch because you got 12 different people to watch. You know, it's a fast-paced game, and you're trying to look at it from 12 points of view, and you have 2 people commentating on it. It's just too... I can't do it. I can't pay attention to all of that at once.
Too much going on, huh?
Yeah, exactly. At least for me. I don't know. Maybe that makes me an idiot. I don't know. But, esports...
Blizzard needs to step up, because Halo already had that back in the day.
Well, successful esports games are like League of Legends, StarCraft... Command & Conquer's got a little bit of a thing going, or at least it used to. You know, a lot of those strategy RTS things that you look from over the, you look at it from overhead, Those are easier to watch because there's not a whole lot going on. Some of the shit happens all on one screen. It's easier to commentate. With Overwatch, I just don't see it.
So much going on, yeah.
They should take a page out of Rainbow Six Siege because that's successful as an esport right now. That's a game that came back from the dead, by the way.
I've heard good things about it. I've just never got it.
Yeah, maybe it's something we should look into next year.
I mean, it's constantly on sale. Like, I want to say it's still on sale right now.
It went from a dead game to one of the most popular games being played right now.
Is that just because of esports?
Esports definitely had something to do about it, but Ubisoft just listened. There were some things wrong with it. Ubisoft paid attention, and they fixed the problems that were wrong with it, and they turned the game around.
What?
I know.
Ubisoft actually listened?
Ubisoft has actually been some good boys this year.
But it's Ubisoft.
I know. They have exceeded my expectations this year. At least compared to these other shit developers, but, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We'll get into that.
I still want to talk about this.
We got plenty to say about... Yeah.
We'll get to it.
I still want to talk about this esports thing and this Overwatch thing, because, it's gotten so bad that you're having kids, not just from Korea, but from the United States. They are quitting high school to do this thing. They're dropping out of school to play Overwatch professionally. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I've always told Mom and Dad that I was going to be a professional video game player. They never believed me. Now I had my chance.
What game are you going to go in
esports.
professionally in?
They need to make Madden one of those.
Panic, I've seen the way you play Madden. You wouldn't make it, bud. I'm sorry.
Oh shit! I don't know, man. He won with the Browns. He won with the Browns.
With the Browns.
Can you say that
not
in your
win
Trump
any.
voice again for me?
fast travel.
I won a game with the Browns, so I know what I'm doing.
Okay, fine. It's props to you, but you got about 3 or 4 plays that I'll support you, but I'm just saying.
I think if he dedicated his life to Madden, to getting good at Madden, I think
people are doing.
Yeah, I think if he put the amount of time
yeah.
and resources into it, I think he could do it. And that's the thing I want to say. You know, Living, you and I, you know, we made it to Masters on quite a few seasons in Overwatch. We talked about this before.
Almost a Grandmaster.
Almost a Grandmaster at one point. I legitimately think that if we had the time, the resources, and we had coaching and a team behind us, I think we could. I really do think we could hang with some of these guys. We might not be the best, but hell, you know, one season I got into Masters and I did it by myself. You did too. We didn't talk to anybody. We did that solo. If we had a whole team to coordinate with, we could be a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just, I'm saying that because my point is that when I watch these Overwatch things, half the time I'm spotting all the mistakes and I'm saying, this guy's fucking up, this guy's fucking up, this guy's fucking up. And then I realize what makes them any different from me. They got their shot. We didn't.
What was that, 30
And it just makes it all the more unwatchable to me.
I think Toxic is jealous.
I went 20.
He's
I
a
could
little
be.
jelly.
I could be because look at how much these people are making. They, you know, they're not making a whole lot, but
Oh, this is the
they're
wrong
still
one.
doing something, you know. But that brings me to my next point. What are these kids gonna do after they drop out of high school?
23-0.
They play Overwatch, and then the whole franchise shuts down. What the hell are they gonna do?
Hey, we should do.
Work at McDonald's.
Or they sustain an injury because they're playing with mouse and keyboard. You guys should see the horror stories that went on when, you know, StarCraft was, you know, a big thing. It still is a big thing. But StarCraft holds the record as having the biggest amount of wrist injuries and surgeries out of any sport. Any sport.
Jeez.
They're just gonna be hiding in the back, aren't they? It's really bad in South
Wait,
Korea.
is that any esport?
No, that's any sport. Any sport.
Nice
Whoa.
kill.
They destroy their wrists and their fingers and their hands. Some of them can't properly hold things when they're, you know, when they retire.
Yeah, but he's a tank eater though.
StarCraft's been out.
Dedication, you know.
StarCraft's been out for like over 20 years. So it's a really big thing.
Isn't StarCraft like pretty much an Age of Empires style game?
It
It's one of
was
those kind of
Yeah.
games.
StarCraft was the original esport.
Diva's defense matrix really sucks.
It's
But yeah, it's that style of game, Panic.
yeah, it very much is. It's, you know, I played a little bit of it. I could never go multiplayer. You know, it's very fast paced, and I go way too slow to do that. Payback's the same way. But yeah, when I was doing research on that, you know, I was learning things like, you know, people getting surgery for carpal tunnel. Some people have arthritis and they're 22 years old. You know,
Jeez. Them Asians going crazy.
They take that shit seriously, man.
He's down at least.
You know, they got internet cafes over there specifically made for games like StarCraft and shit.
Maybe I should move to South Korea. It's starting to sound like my kind of country over there.
They got
They're
Panic.
all about games.
Panic. They have the fastest internet in the world.
Oh, there he goes.
The
doing his
fastest.
fucking flying thing.
I'm gonna move down there.
Panic. Gonna turn South Korean.
Can you
So South
imagine
Korea-
Panic in a K-pop video?
Can you dance like Psy, Panic?
No, but I can learn. Dad has always said if you don't know, you just say that you can learn.
Oh, that's a fucked up ult. Or not.
What would you do if you ended up in South Korea, Payback?
What?
What would you do if you ended up in South Korea?
Oh shit. See if it's really sideways.
I somehow knew you were gonna bring that up.
Okay, so apparently in a recording I said Asian is sideways.
And you said it exactly like that too.
Shit.
You did say that,
It be sideways.
and I left that
Yeah,
in.
so I thought you were gonna bleep it.
Well, I said it was so good, I just had to leave it in.
Get back!
We all voted and we said to keep it in.
That means
Yeah.
two things.
We did actually vote on it. Yeah, I remember. Because I asked you guys about it, and you're like, go ahead. All right.
Toxic's already got a feud going on with the South Koreans.
What are you talking about?
Them putting them copyright strikes on you.
Oh, yeah, I fucking forgot. Some South Koreans put some copyrights on mine.
That
They stopped.
motherfucker.
They stopped after I fucking upheld that shit.
It takes the kill away from them.
Oh, yeah, it
Um,
does.
So your channel art's like officially like copyrighted and everything,
Behind us.
right?
It's still pending. It's still pending.
Oh,
If
it's
it-
pending.
yeah, if
Whoa,
it does-
how long's that been? It's been
It's-
like months.
It's been months. If it doesn't go through, I'm probably gonna get a
Oh, you
trademark.
that's twice.
That'll
Again.
probably be my next step.
Fucking again.
Well, what's the difference between copyright and trademark? Like, what is that? What's going on with that?
Behind us.
Copyright. Actually, I don't know. They're just fancy words to me.
You're about to go into the details of it all. Well, you see here, copyright. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah,
You're gonna bullshit your way around.
I try. You know what? I'm not gonna bullshit my way out of this one. People are gonna know. People are gonna be like, wait a second, this is just wrong.
This guy's full of shit.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna stop myself right there. Well, do you know the difference? Because I don't.
Son of a bitch.
I'm the one that asked.
Why am I getting a pop quiz here?
Don't pin this on me. I'm the one that asked.
Why am I getting a pop quiz?
Yeah. I was just asking.
It's your old thing.
All right, fuck. Well, you know what? Let's talk about something I do know about. Let's discuss, and let's agree. Let's vote on what the worst developer this year was,
Oh,
and we'll go
bad
through the
timing.
details. Okay.
Could you give me a hint?
Well, we made a list before the show, and I'm gonna run it.
Did you check it twice?
Not yet. By the way, that holiday's
Are
over.
you gonna
gotta
find
check
out
it
they're
twice.
naughty or nice? Or
We're gonna
mostly
find
naughty?
out which developer's naughty and nice.
Yeah, all right, fuck it. Let's
Mostly
go with
naughty.
it. I've got a list. I'm going to check it twice. I'm going to figure out which developer's been naughty or nice. They're mostly naughty. Because we didn't make a list for the
Toxic
nice
Ghost
ones.
is coming to town. Alright.
Goddamn dog.
Oh, Isn't it kind of funny? Your dogs start barking and mine are like barking at the same time. Like they're
Creepy.
barking at each other.
Okay. The first developer I got on this list is Bungie. Oh,
Bleh.
Bungie. Oh, Bungie.
Bungie.
How you...
Bungo,
How the mighty
how
have
did we
fallen.
get here? How did
What
we get
have you
here?
done to yourself? What were you thinking?
Should we just go ahead and just talk about them?
Yeah,
Explain
well,
to the audience why, if they don't already know.
we're gonna miss some things. There's so many things that I didn't
'Cause
write them
there's so
down.
much-
That's it.
There's so much shit.
Let's
The biggest thing that did it for me,
go
I'm
in order.
sure
Let's go in order.
Yeah, let's go in order.
The biggest issue, I'm sure as Panic's gonna say, is the Eververse, which is the shop where you can buy
Yes.
microtransactions. You can buy loot boxes. That is the big issue with the game.
They've locked so much gear and loot and ships and shaders and sparrows and emotes and armor sets and everything behind this Eververse.
You don't season things in
and the
this
worst,
to fucking
worst part about
Tipped
it.
people into buying.
Worst part about it is they actually put a job listing out that they took down to avoid.
Hold on, we're getting ahead of
anything.
ourselves here, Panic.
Oh, I remember this.
Well, that's we're talking about the Eververse, and that's what the job was for.
Yeah, but we got to talk about other things that are wrong with the Eververse first, okay? Because first of all,
Mhm.
it was found out that well, let's
You're picking a
figure this
nightfall
out.
to try it, but, we'll do it.
Let's define what a microtransaction is in a loot box, because some people aren't going to know what those are. I mean, we know about it. A microtransaction is something you can buy in the game with real-world money.
Fucking challenge accepted, motherfuckers.
Okay. A loot box is something you buy in the game, usually with real money, and it's kind of like playing slots. You get random items that have differing value. You know, you could get shit, you can get good things. That's what a loot box is. It's essentially virtual gambling. That's the big issue with Destiny 2. Loot boxes.
Who the fuck is Jason?
There's two ways to earn loot boxes. You can either buy them with real money, or you can earn them through the game, but it's usually pretty slow.
Redheaded baby Jesus.
You earn it through experience. Well, it was discovered that Bungie throttled XP, so the more you played, the less experience you got. Even though it showed that you were getting experience, in reality, you weren't getting that number. And it was throttling down to where and sometimes you could only get 10% of the experience it was showing you. They did this to incentivize you to buy them with real money. All right? That's the first fuck up they did. We caught them doing that. And they did the whole thing. Bungie usually does this thing where they say, you know, we're sorry, we're looking into it, it's unintended, and we'll fix the issue. We're looking into it,
Things
as they'll
aren't
say.
working the way we intended them to.
Yeah.
I'm tired of I'm tired of the
Complete
whole
horseshit.
apologetic thing.
Yeah.
It's ugh.
So they fixed
Rinse
that.
and repeat.
They fixed that. They fixed the throttling. But then they tried to sneak in. How did they do this? What would be a good way to say this? They doubled the amount of XP you needed in order to get a loot box. So they fixed it, and then they fucked it up with something else. And they tried to sneak it. They tried to sneak it in. They didn't say anything about that either. We had to figure that shit out too. So when they were caught with that, they said, "Oh, this was unintended," and they fixed it. Then, what was the DLC called?
Curse of
Curse of
Osiris.
Yeah,
Osiris.
Curse
A
of
very
Osiris.
forgettable DLC.
Curse of Osiris came out, which you guys always joke about me sticking with the contract. Bungie has a contract with Activision. If you read that contract, everything that's happening, you know would have already happened. Okay? It came out in the first week of December, just like the first DLC did for the first Destiny. It had the same amount of content, just like the first DLC did. Which, by the way, it had shit for content. It had maybe 45 minutes of content. Alright? There's been free expansions that have had more than that. And they charged $20 for that shit.
Yep.
And
Rip off.
they on top of that, they walled off all the old content behind a paywall. Okay? But wait, there's more, as Billy Mays would say. A lot of the stuff they had in Curse of Osiris was put behind the Eververse thing, behind loot boxes, so they had a paywall behind a paywall.
That's like That's like 4 paywalls.
Yeah, well, that's a number that I can't even think of. So they said, "Oh, this was unintended," and they got rid of one of the paywalls, but not all of them because they got to make money somehow. Then after that, as Panic noted, they had a job opening to what was it called? I'm gonna look it up. I don't know. I can't remember the exact title.
Not again.
Some generic ass lead project designer, yada yada yada, make Eververse profitable.
Dumb it down.
That's-
Find us more ways to help get people to spend more money on Eververse.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm gonna find it. I will find it.
I will
find it.
It was a job ad for a senior progression designer whose specific job was to optimize these engrams, these loot boxes, so people would be more incentivized to buy them. That job posting went away within 5 days. Could be because they found somebody to hire it. Could be because they got a lot of shit for it. That came around. Here's the latest thing that's going on. They have these timed events, usually for holidays. Bungie put out this holiday event called The Dawning, which, you throw snowballs at each other, you get loot and all that shit. All the loot was locked behind special loot boxes that you couldn't earn normally. You couldn't earn them with XP normally, so one of the only ways you could do it was you had to buy them. This pissed off a lot of people. All the fans finally turned on Bungie and they were chanting, "Get rid of Eververse, get rid of the loot boxes, get rid of the microtransactions." And and Bungie turned around and said, we'll look into this after the holidays. Well, this fucking Dawning event goes away on the 8th of January.
Yeah.
So they basically said, fuck it. We'll come back later. They're either going to address, they said they were going to address this at a later time. They're going to either address this when there's 1 week left or the event's already over.
See, you're kind of skipping out on a few details with the Dawning event. People did the math, and the most of these loot boxes that you can earn without paying for them during the entire thing is, I think it was 9. You could earn 9 of these things throughout the entire thing. And there's like 50, 60 something items that you can earn. So you do the math. You get like 2 things per loot box. And a lot of that's going to be useless stuff like shaders, which I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, yeah. You see, I knew I was going to forget some things.
God.
See, there is no way, there is no possible way, what I'm getting to is that there is no possible way to earn all of the new loot without buying it. There's no way. And people could say, oh, well, you can dismantle the stuff you get that you don't want and get this item, in-game item called Bright Dust, and then you buy what you want. But the amount of Bright Dust that you get per thing that you dismantle, it might add up enough for you to buy one thing. One thing out of like the 60
each
items.
armor, each armor thing is like over 1,000 Bright Dust. Like it's 1,000 something.
And like you dismantle, and I'll get to the shaders here in a second. You dismantle a shader, and it gives you like a pathetic, I don't know, 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Bright Dust.
nothing's
My
spent.
numbers are slightly off, but it's pitiful. Also, a big thing that Destiny fucked up with is the shaders. The shaders used to be, once you unlocked it on Destiny 1, once you unlocked a shader, it was yours to wear. You could take it on and off whenever you want. Now, it's a one-time consumable, so as soon as you put a shader on, it gets taken away. Now, part of me kind of likes that because you can mix and match and make things look the way you want, which I think that's kind of cool, but it shouldn't be a one-time consumable. They just included shaders to be something you grind for. These new limited-time shaders that you get from the Dawning, before I go to that, there's a big issue with the space to store your shaders. There's 50 slots for your shaders. You think, 50 shaders, that's a lot, but there's, I don't know, like 100, 150 shaders. So you're not going to be able to hold all the shaders you want. These limited time shaders do not stack the way other shaders do. Other shaders, you can hold 50 to 100 in one stack. These shaders only stack to like 2 or 3, and then they start a new stack.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not only is there limited space to hold all your shaders,
and
but
a limited
these
time.
limited time shaders, they do not stack. So they're taking up more of that precious shader space. So you're going to have to delete other shaders to make room for this bullshit stacking of these shaders. And then also, once this Dawning event is gone, which, like you said, they just said, fuck it, we're not going to deal with it because we're not going to come back until after the new year. Then by that time, they've got a week, and it's going to take them longer than a week to fix this stuff. Once you put one of those limited time shaders on one of your armors, that shader is gone. You're not getting that shader back.
That's it.
Once the Dawning event's gone, it's over. You're not getting that shader back. They might bring it back next year, but that is a whole year.
And
that shader is gone.
And you
can't take it off.
You fucking know what they're gonna do, man. They're gonna do a thing where on year 2, they're gonna bring back a DLC, and they're gonna make all the old gear completely useless. So you got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna be
all those
upgrade, brand new
shaders-
gear. Yep.
Yep, it's all going to be
Or I think about it
useless.
now, the more it's just triggering me now.
And I love
Bungo,
Destiny. I love Destiny as much as the next guy. But Destiny 1 was my favorite game for years. And I was super hyped up for Destiny 2. And I kept trying to support them through all this shit. But this Dawning event that's happened, where this greedy pay for this, and it's the holiday Christmas season. It's supposed to be a time of giving. But instead what they give us is some bullshit snowballs, some ice hockey shit at the farm, and that's it. Everything else is locked behind a paywall. It's things that you used to be able to go out and grind for and get. Everything's just locked
Like,
behind a
had they
paywall
had
now,
this
just so they can make an extra quick buck. Anything that's good is locked behind a paywall.
You know,
And
I
that was the
you,
last
like,
straw for me. And
I know Destiny
as much as I
1
love Destiny, I'm not playing it anymore.
I know Destiny 1 wasn't liked by very many people. Like, but I guarantee you, had they had this, and they said, okay, go out and earn your stuff by, like, doing strikes, and pretty much anything you do, you can get this special gear. Like, that would have been the better way to do this. But instead,
That
it's all
would've
about
given
money.
them-
It's all about money nowadays.
If
They would
they'd
have given
have
you more of a
had
purpose to play.
if they'd have had all these items available to just go out and get, whether it be strike-specific loot or, you know, they have these little things where you go out and grind
Anything.
materials and then you give, you know, whatever. If they'd have put everything out free to get, able to get everything without buying anything, that would have given them a lot of good rep. You know, that would have been a step in the right direction. But instead, this was the straw that broke the camel's back, for me at least.
yeah.
And it's the last straw, and I'm not going back to Destiny. As much as I want to play it, because I do want to play it, I can't support what EA's done, which we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, here's the
And
thing. I
it
just
might-
want to say, I got two things to say. One, Payback's the smartest one out of all of us because he didn't buy Destiny 2. Two, we're still on the first nomination.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Bungie really
because there's
pissed us
so
off.
many things. There's so many bad things that Bungie did. They took such, like, the game looks great, it plays great, it sounds great, it, like, everything about it is good. The gunplay, I mean, everything about it is great. But it's the head honchos, the decision makers up top is ruining the artists and the designers and the programmers. I mean, they're ruining it by just taking everything they make
Yeah.
and sticking it behind Eververse. They're ruining.
Well,
Ruined it.
this is the year of the loot box, man. This is-
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, it's the year of the loot box. I can't support what EA's done.
you mean
And
Bungie?
I cannot support. Well, no. I
Well,
can't
both of
support
them,
what
really.
EA's done, and I can't support what Bungie's done. I'm not playing Star Wars Battlefront, and I cannot, as much as I want to, and as much as I used to love Bungo and Destiny,
Clearing the bottom.
I can't support it. I can't be a part of it. I'm not going to play the game.
Yeah.
And you could think, oh, well, it's just one person. It's not going to make a difference. But if everyone had that mentality, you know, they wouldn't lose their player
Everyone
base.
does. Look at the player drop.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
player drop,
They've lost like
and then some
80% or something like that.
some places like Destiny 2 Tracker, they got rid of like the player count because it was like, oh, this is spreading false narrative. No, it's not. You guys are just fucking ashamed of what you've done. And that's the thing about all these companies. They're only sorry when they're caught.
Yep.
Let's move on. I think we covered everything that the fucking Bungie's done.
I'm sorry.
I think that's just the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, that's
I'm sure there's more.
We could get into the content, but that would take all night.
yeah, and some of us don't
What
follow.
content?
Yeah, exactly. What the
content?
fuck are you talking about?
If
Content.
it didn't take all
That's what
night
I'm
to
saying.
burn through
Like
the content,
the end game is
then
so
why should we
dry.
take all?
Dang.
They sold us
Yeah.
a Lay's
We can talk about
bag
how
with
bad
no
it is.
chips.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to EA and Battlefront 2 and how they f***ed up, all right?
Jack Black.
Let's go up to another f*** up. Panic, take it away.
All right. The only absolute thing I could say to defend DICE's game that they created, not EA. DICE, like as far as like the developers and whatnot. Do you notice how much I'm playing that game more than I am playing Destiny 2?
What the fuck?
Because I'm actually kind of having fun for what it is for the most part.
How was I supposed
It-
to know?
I know EA and the loot box thing. We really don't even need to get into what EA did. What EA is doing is pretty much almost what Bungie is doing. Here's boxes. Here's loot
Nope.
boxes, and
My retort to this real fast. Bungie isn't making it
Fuck you, Bungo.
pay to win.
Yeah, there's
That's
a
one thing
difference.
Bungie is not doing. There's not pay to win for Bungie for Battlefront. It's pay to win. You buy all these loot boxes, you get the good star card. and suddenly all of your characters are better than anyone else's.
Yeah,
That's
and that's
pay to win.
That's the thing. There's only pay to win stuff. There are no cosmetics in Battlefront 2's loot boxes, and it's because they said they don't want to break canon, which I say that is a crock of shit.
Yeah, well,
Canon. They don't want. They even say they don't want a pink Darth Vader, so they're not going to offer it. Because that would be canon breaking. And my thing is, like, why, if that's the case,
world wants a pink Darth Vader.
yeah. And my
Who
response
wants that?
my response to that is why then would you allow Darth Vader to fight fucking Rey on Camino? There's nothing about that makes any sense.
What they're doing isn't canon breaking, but it's game breaking, and I think that's the true crime.
Yeah, it's fucking. I mean,
I don't know. It's hard for me to really trash the game because it's such a guilty pleasure game. I'm guilty, but I'm having so much fun on it.
yeah, yes, Panic. We all have our crack, our black tar heroin that we love. All right, we all got it. Fucking Living's got it. You've got it. Even I have it.
What's yours?
I mean,
I
certainly
like-
we can get into wild card.
Well,
get
don't
into
worry.
that?
They're on the list. I like games that are really, really hard. All right. I like games with bosses that are just like, fuck you. I don't give a shit how good you are. I'm still gonna beat the shit out of you. I like being tortured by my games. That is my guilty
Yikes.
pleasure.
But last thing though, for EA.
Oh
or
no,
as far as the
we're
Battlefront
just
2
getting
game,
started with the
no,
EA.
no, no. Last good thing I'm
The
going to
words
say
of
about
Master
the
Chief,
game.
I think we're just getting
Hang on,
started.
hang on. The last good thing I could say about the game is that it's living. It's like you said, the game is so beautiful. I can't describe how beautiful it is. It looks good. It sounds good. Everything about it is so good. And Starfighter Assault, the space battle games, is so fun. Like, I can't describe how fun it is. It's honestly better. The Starfighter Assault game type is better, and I will take this to my grave. It's better than the original Battlefront 2 space battles. So much better.
Okay,
10
well,
times better.
I might say that maybe Battlefront 2, the original one, maybe it hasn't aged very well. But, you know, just because something looks good doesn't mean that it is good, okay? Of course, you know, Kardashians
Agreed.
are so popular, so what the do I know?
But that game type is so fun. Like, anytime I get on the game, that's like, I play most of that pretty much. It's good. That's it. That's the only positive thing. Last positive thing I'm going to say. Now you guys got the floor.
Okay.
I'm going to let y'all say whatever y'all want to say, and I'm just going to stay quiet about it.
Okay, in case
Unless
nobody
I got something to say.
in case anybody doesn't know, star cards are basically buffs you give your characters or your classes or whatever. It makes you better. It just gives you a better chance of beating the other person. Could give you more health, could give you more damage, you know, could give you, like, a rocket launcher instead of, like, a rinky-dink little grenade launcher or something. I don't know. You get the point. It improves your odds of winning. And it does give you a better chance of winning. I don't care who says otherwise. You can either earn these, which, you know, it's kind of like, it's a lot like, you know, Bungie's fucking thing. You can either earn these through experience, just through playing the game, or you can buy them. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how good you are. You're going to get the same amount of XP whether you're the best or you're the worst. It got so bad that people were wrapping rubber bands around their fucking controllers so they wouldn't time out, and they would just play the game, they'd press start, and they'd leave it for a good 10 to 15 minutes so they could get the XP. Because being good didn't matter to anybody. They just wanted the XP. I can't really blame them for gaming the system. I mean, they made a shitty gaming system for it. There's no incentive to be good in that game. I'm sorry, Panic, but, you know, you don't earn anything any faster by being a badass. Especially when there's documented cases of people wrapping their controllers with rubber bands. I think they fixed that since then, so I can't confirm nor deny that.
How would you fix that? Is it just if you do a repeated action over and over and over again, and it kicks you out?
It's simple. They just make it to where the better you do, the more XP you would get, the more credits you would get.
That is
I
true.
thought you
I
said,
can
like-
confirm. I can confirm that the better I've been doing in games, the more like in-game points, so-called. Because it used to be, I will agree, it was bad. When I first started playing, I was getting like maybe just barely 100, maybe 200 at most. Now it's like I don't know, 500 or 600. There've been times where I got like over 1,000.
Okay, yeah, they did improve that. Here's another thing. When the game first came out, somebody did the math, and they figured out that you needed to play for 40 hours to unlock either Luke or Vader. You know, some of the heroes you get to play in this game. And that's bad. You know, they got a bad image for that, as they should. So they said they fixed it. They reduced the amount that you earn through. They reduced the amount required to buy those characters. Then they turned around. They reduced how much you earned by the same amount. So effectively equaled out. I don't know if they fixed that. I don't know if they fixed that. But they pulled a Bungie on that one.
I mean, the only thing I can confirm is that they have, for the most part, I don't know how long it's going to last, but they have been a little more generous with the points and the freaking, what was it? It used to be like 40,000 credits that you had to get to unlock one of those characters.
Yeah, they reduced it down to 10,000.
Beginning. Now it's like at 10,000 or something like that.
Yeah, but they, like I
Hey, Nick,
said,
are you getting less points now that you have to be good? 'Cause
No. I mean, I'm actually
You gotta
getting
be-
more
you
points
gotta be
now.
good.
Well, I'm not good at the game in general. I mean, let's face it here, fellas. I'm not good at the
that's
game.
what I was going for. That's what I was going for.
Maybe if I just did outstanding, I would just get all the points.
here's another thing. Like, you know, within 2 days, you know, right from the get-go, you could buy, like, these loot boxes, so you could, like, spend a good amount of money and get all the best gear on day one and just beat the shit out of everyone who has yet to get all the gear. They took that away after 2 days because they got so much backlash from it. It was so bad that, you know, governments are investigating them, and some governments want to ban Battlefront 2 from, like, their country because they see it as gambling. And, you know, but first of all, the damage has already been done. The people who bought all the shit on day one have bought it on day one. You know, you got people running around, maxed out Darth Vader's getting 100 kills, and they're literally unstoppable. There's nothing you could do about it. And that's the main thing I don't like about this game. It's just a power fantasy. It's one guy having all the fun while everyone else is getting their asses handed to him. I don't know if I can agree with that.
One thing in-game wise that I don't like how they handled the hero system. Granted, it's a little better than what they had in the very first game. Living, you can confirm this. It was absolute crap the way they had it. You run around the map and maybe you they have like these little power things around the map.
These little
and like
power pickups.
Yeah.
And that's how you got all your stuff. And
yeah.
I'd never get to be one of the heroes, or I'd never get to fly one of the ships because everyone else would camp those things and they'd know where they were at and they just farm them while I'm running around trying to get kills. It was bullshit. I didn't have fun with that.
It's a little better than the first game, but it's those people. It's like you said, like the game, the very first day, like they bought all their loot boxes, so they're like unstoppable. They get like right now, you got to get like 8,000 points to play pretty much any of the heroes. They get those points like really fast, and then once they get that hero, they're gonna stay as that hero the whole game.
Yeah,
so it's like once you eventually get up there, you're gonna end up waiting, you could wait like the whole game, and then it's like once you finally get to play, the game's over.
Yeah,
or you never even get to touch that hero.
There are some YouTube
That's one
videos,
thing I don't like. I don't like how they handled that.
There's some videos up showing players getting like the top tier hero within the first 3 minutes of the game, and like you could tell like they have the maxed out gear and everything. You know, it's
really
ridiculous.
Don't like the way they handled that. That's one thing I don't like. It's like biggest thing is like you want to be able to play as your freaking heroes on the battlefield. Oh, I got all these star cards for this particular hero, so I want to play as that guy. And you know, you're kind of lucky if you get to play as them. And a match that has like 20 other people in there.
Yeah, it's you know,
you better freaking hurry up and get your kills.
They didn't handle it at all, but they knew what they were doing. And like you know, like with Bungie, they're only sorry when they were caught. And man, were they caught. Yep. Man, they got hard. You know, they're feeling the wrath of you know, just they're getting everything they deserve, man. If nobody has anything more to say about that, we got to go to the next nominee.
Man, it's taking like an hour for us to just talk about two.
I figured
How many
it
do
would.
we have?
I knew. it
Oh
was
wait,
going
hold
to.
on. There's more games that fucking EA's fucked up on. I'm sorry. I checked the list. Let's talk about Madden 2018.
Madden 18.
Madden 18.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
get into it forever, yo.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
you-
know
you
what,
go
Panic?
ahead,
First
Panic,
of
go
all-
for it, man.
You're the only one.
First
You're
of
the
all,
only one
yeah.
that bought into the hype and bought the damn game. They got you good. Man.
Yep.
What did they
fucking
I
say?
regret it. I regret every decision I made about this freaking
What
game.
what
This
did they
is the
say to
best
hook
game
you? What was the
in
hook?
history, maybe ever.
It is the worst. Okay,
Hook
let
me,
me
boy.
start. When exactly when the thing that's kind of sold me on the game before I was lied to in my face, they said like, "Oh, Frostbite." You know, Frostbite, the people who freaking are part of the Battlefield games, and you know how great those look. Like those look fantastic. I was thinking, wow, we're gonna get like this fantastic looking Madden game, almost realistic graphics. And I was lied to about that. This game does not look any different than what Madden
And like a
17
3 or
looks.
4, it looks the same as a 3 or 4 year old Madden game.
Yeah.
I've seen gameplay. It looks the same as it did like 4
It
years
is the
ago.
same. So I was very disappointed about that. And this game is so broken, and it's still broken. Biggest thing is field goal blocks are scripted. The games I feel like are scripted, honestly. But Living, you saw it. I was playing a game.
Explain to the audience what do you mean by scripted?
Yeah,
Okay.
what's a
what does that, what does that mean?
There's been many times a normal extra point. You know, your guy will just do his normal thing. He'll go up there, kick the ball, and all is good. You know it's gonna get blocked because what your guy does, he kind of slows his speed. He kind of stands there for a little bit. Then, as soon as the defender is running across, that's when your guy runs. He goes up to the ball to try to kick it, and it's blocked. You know it's gonna happen every it's scripted.
So-
you know
so-
it's gonna happen. It's
they-
not random.
they-
So it's not
they
exciting.
changed
It's
the
scripted.
They changed
Yeah.
like the kicking animation for the kickers to where as
Yeah.
soon as the snapper snaps the ball to the holder, the kicker is already taking steps forward to kick the ball. But in these scripted events, I think the one that I saw with Panic, he was either going in for a game-winning field goal or he was going to tie
Yep.
the game. It was late in the game, something like that. And when he snapped snapped the ball back to the holder, and the holder grabbed the ball and then held it down, ready for it to be kicked, the kicker sat there for a solid half a second to a second, and that doesn't sound like much. But seeing as though most NFL plays only last 3 seconds or something like that, I mean that gives enough time for the defender to run around the edge, and then that's when he starts taking a step forward to kick, and then it gets blocked, and it's scripted. They want the game
It's
to
bad.
go in one direction or another.
Pissed me off. It
And
pissed me.
it's
This game-
not just something that happens randomly. There's a lot of reports of that happening.
Yeah,
A lot of players.
I've heard that
And
there's a lot of
also-
reports.
Also, that's just to start, field goal kicking. Also, the same thing happens with punts. Your guy will, ball is snapped, and, usually once the ball hits the punter's hand, he immediately kicks it. Okay? Normal punt. When the punt is blocked, your guy will get it. He just stands there, and once again, just like the field goal kick, as soon as the defender gets there, he, drops it and tries to punt it, and it gets blocked, and it returned for a touchdown. Because your punter will just fall down awkwardly.
See, back in
It's
the old
stupid, man.
Maddens, blocking kicks were hard to do because blocking a kick does not happen very often in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah,
It does
yeah.
not happen very often.
It's
and
very
you can
rare.
do
In
it
In this
in
game, it
games,
happens
but
every game.
you could do it in the games, but you had to time your shit out perfectly. If you could time the snap and you can get your defender running as soon as the ball is snapped, and if you time everything out right, it can be done. But now it just hands it out like it's candy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's crazy.
And it's
Oh, don't worry, Payback. We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about something EA related that's gonna piss you off. We're getting there, okay?
Oh, yeah?
But anyway,
Oh.
more about
Look
that.
at this.
Anyways, it's just that's the biggest thing. The fact that things that you kind of need to work for you in your favor, field goal kicking especially, it's scripted, and that pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
The fact that they did that. And also, it's the fact that every Madden game, there's always going to be some problems with the computer. As far as like them making these stupid, ridiculous plays, or when you throw the football and it bounces off your guy and it just goes like 20 feet in the air and it's just an easy interception. We are in Madden 18 and we're still having these issues. The game is terrible about this. Like, there are times when the defenders, I'm playing against the computer and they're making these ridiculous, unrealistic plays. I'm talking jumping up in the air, one-hand interceptions, where I'm throwing it to a wide-open guy. The ball is batted in the air and it gets picked off. We are in Madden 18. We shouldn't be having these problems. But there's still problems.
Panic is pissed about this.
It does. This game
struck a chord with
infuriates
them.
me. This game infuriates me, and yet I'm playing it.
What else you got there? What else is what else? Is there anything else about Madden?
Those are about the biggest things right there. The fact that this game makes no progression, and field goal kicking and field goal kicks and punts are scripted sometimes. That's about it. Those are the biggest gripes.
Okay, I want to talk.
And the fact that the graphics are not, Frostbite.
Yeah, you got
They are
subpar.
not Frostbite engine.
Yeah, you got subpar graphics for a subpar game. Payback's being quiet a little over there, so we're going to talk about something that will affect him. EA, Respawn Entertainment is the company that makes Titanfall.
Yeah.
EA bought out Respawn Entertainment, so now Titanfall officially is owned by EA.
Yeah.
Well, in case you don't know, EA has a bad history of buying up studios. They'll use them for a few years, they'll use the franchise, and then they will shut down the studio. So,
Yep.
if you want any proof of that, something else you don't possibly know about Payback. What's the company that made Dead Space? Visceral Games?
EA.
Visceral,
EA.
Visceral Games. They're the developer behind Dead Space.
The original, yeah.
The first, second, and third one. The second and third one, they were bought out by EA, I believe. Well, Visceral Games is no more. They're shut down. EA shut them down. So Dead Space is dead as a franchise. And a lot of people are speculating that they're going to make one more Titanfall, and they're going to kill the franchise, and they're going to shut down Respawn Entertainment.
I believe it.
Yep. And with the way that EA goes about making their games, there's probably going to be a lot of microtransactions in Titanfall 3. It's probably going to be a shitty Titanfall.
One thing I do like about Titanfall, I haven't spent as much time on it as I probably should have, but we've been playing it a lot recently. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It is pretty damn nice to, constantly be leveling up and, always unlocking something new, whether it's a skin or a perk or a gun. All this different stuff. It's
Agreed.
really nice to, feel that progression and feel like, oh, I earned this stuff,
Yeah, I mean, there's no loot
That
boxes.
is really fun. It's nice. Yeah, there's no loot boxes.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. No loot boxes.
There's no loot boxes. All the DLC has been free. I mean, Monarch is a DLC Titan that we got for free. Monarch didn't used to exist in the game. There's a few maps that didn't used to exist. They added that in for free.
Free maps. Of course, Toxic, you're all about it. The Frontier Defense, that was a free.
Yeah,
game
that
type
was
they
a
added
free
in.
edition as well. I mean, there are microtransactions. You can buy Prime. You can buy Prime Titans. But they don't force it on you.
But
There's no
at
loot boxes.
least-
You know what you're buying.
At least, yeah, that's what I was about to say. You know what you're buying. It's not you're buying a chance to get it. You are buying what you want. If you're gonna have things like that, at least have it like that, so we don't have to overspend on loot boxes, and still not have a chance to not get what you want.
Yeah, I mean, they were being
I
fair
just
about
spent
it.
$100. I didn't get what I wanted. Yes.
Yep, exactly.
So, Titanfall 3, probably not going to be like that. It's probably going to be pretty shitty. And it's probably not going to do well with sales because of that. And EA is going to look at Respawn and say, you made a shitty game. And then they're going to shut down the studio. And they're going to kill off the franchise.
Yep.
They did it to Dead Space. They're going to do it with this game.
I honestly think Titanfall 2 is, when we look back on this dark time during video games, let's face it, there's been a lot of stinkers this year. We'll look back at Titanfall 2, we're going to have a smile on our face. We just know they actually did that game right. They made it right.
It was a good game.
It's a good game.
It's a good game. We still play it. It's not a whole lot of people playing it, but I think it's a good game.
It's a fun game, and I have fun playing it.
So that's all.
Another. If
we're
we're still talking about EA,
Yeah.
one last thing. Since this whole thing has been happening with Battlefront 2 and them buying out studios, this and that, guarantee you this is going to affect their new game, Anthem. That
oh
was a
man,
game I was thinking about getting, but now I'm not sure. I don't think I want to get it anymore.
yeah, it's their answer to Destiny
BioWare
2.
too.
Yeah, BioWare is on their way out, man. They are on their way
Another
out
company that's on their way out.
because they didn't do such a hot job with Mass Effect Andromeda. That's another franchise that's dead now. That's not coming back. You know, Mass Effect's gone. Dead Space is gone. Titanfall is pretty much going to be gone. You know, EA just f***s up every game they touch. But, I mean, if nobody wants to talk, I mean, that's pretty much it, you know, for EA. We still have a lot of other f***ing nominations. We've been talking about the same topic for a half an hour now, and we're not even halfway done.
I knew it was going to be like that.
Yeah,
We're passionate about games, dang
we're
it.
passionate about games, and we're passionate about people f***ing up. This is the best of both worlds.
Yep.
What do we got here? What's the next thing? We got Bluehole.
I say let's move on to wild card.
Well,
Or
it's down the
Bluehole.
list. It's
Aren't
down...
they?
Bluehole, the makers
they,
of Battle
PUBG?
Royale. Yeah, PUBG.
Oh boy.
They
I'm
have been
50-50 with them.
they well
See that marker there?
they released Bluehole released this game called PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and it's very, 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 very popular.
Wow, the frame rate. It's
What's so
peak.
special about the
It
game?
says it right there.
It's this new genre called Battle Royale, which basically means you get 100 players, you drop them into a map, you throw weapons at them, but they got to go find them, and it's they kind of copy the whole thing from the Hunger Games. If anybody wants a good point of reference, it's basically the Hunger Games for gamers. It's really popular.
Don't deploy your chute early.
Bluehole got pissed off because they want to keep the franchise, they want to keep the whole genre to themselves.
You can't Fortnite.
See,
It'd be
the
like
other,
Halo,
And that
being like, no one can make a first-person shooter after Halo
yeah.
CE. Like that, it's ours. You can't do it.
You see, another company called Epic Games, they made a game called Fortnite, which is also a battle royale game, and they started chomping into PlayerUnknown's, Bluehole's player base. Less players equals less money because they have microtransactions in that fucking game. Go figure. And they got loot boxes. Well, PlayerUnknown got a little pissed off at, or Bluehole got pissed off at Epic Games because Epic Games makes the engine. They make all the tools that they use to make PlayerUnknown. And they threw a fit about it. And they got shit on for it. And then they backpedaled a little bit. But only because they were caught. Also, they have loot boxes in there.
Isn't that the theme of this topic? Isn't
Yeah.
that the theme of this topic? They only care if they get caught.
Yeah, pretty much.
He makes like the best fucking photos.
Okay.
All the game companies we've been talking about, that's been the case.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to Take-Two.
On the ground.
That's a company that owns Rockstar Entertainment. They own all the other sports games that aren't Madden. They've got these. They're in charge of GTA 5 and GTA Online, which makes them a shit ton of money from microtransactions. Which, surprise, surprise, they got microtransactions. But the only thing you can buy is fake money. You use real money to buy fake money in the form of shark cards in GTA 5. $100,000. It gives you $3. $3 in real war money gives you $100,000 in this game. $5 of real war money gets you $500,000 in this game. Some of the most expensive cars in this game cost $2.7 million of fake money, which roughly translates to about $25 of real-world money for a car. Recently, GTA 5 or GTA Online added this feature called, well, they added this DLC called the Doomsday Heist Update, which it's free. Fair enough, it's free. Nobody had to pay for it. But in this game, you can buy something called the Orbital Cannon, which you got to buy for $800,000, and then you have to, every time you use it, you got to pay $400,000. What this thing does is it allows you to kill anybody on the map regardless of where they are. It's professional griefing. It doesn't matter if they're in their house or in their car, which, by the way, if you destroy their car, they got to pay fake money in order to get it back, which gives you the opportunity to use real money to get your fake car back that you already paid a shitload of money for. So they got professional griefing in GTA Online, which, you know, is kind of scummy. And then there's an incident in NBA 2K18, which is another 2K game.
Oh, scummy.
Oh, yeah, it's real scummy. Okay, in NBA 2K18, in order to make your fantasy team, which is similar to what Madden did, you have to pay with fake money, which you got to buy with real money. And they said it was game-breaking. It was really bad. On top of this, you could make fan-made jerseys, right? And people would have to buy them with, real cash. What had happened was somebody made a jersey, people bought them, and then Take-Two got a copyright strike on them, a DMCA strike based on the content they made because, it was copyrighted material that this person made, and they took the shirts away from the people that bought them but didn't refund them the money.
Wow.
Damn.
That's pretty corrupt right there.
Yeah, and I'm surprised not a whole lot of people talked about this.
Well, it's NBA 2K. Who plays
Yeah,
that anymore?
right. It's like, we don't play it. So that's what Take-Two did. They did it with, those are some things that aren't really talked about a whole lot, but, they're doing it. All right, Panic. Let's talk about Wildcard Studios. What did they do, Panic?
Wildcard Studios.
What did they do to piss you off?
Let's start with the fact that when they released the game. They released the game and it wasn't even finished.
What game was that?
We tried to get into a Ragnarok.
What game was that? Well, our audience doesn't know.
When they released Ark, it wasn't finished. It still runs like I want to say it still runs like a freaking beta game. Is that right, Living?
Yes, sir.
Does it still run pretty much the same as the last time I left it?
It's hard to say because there's no one that plays on this server. But yeah, there's still some frame skips. There's still a little bit of lagging. There's still those small issues like that. It's not nearly as bad as what it was when we were in our heyday with it, but that's because we were constantly flying into all these big bases. Me, I can fly around, and I know where there's one base.
What is
And
Ark?
There's my base. What is love?
What is Ark? Baby, don't hurt me. But we have yet to describe what Ark actually is. Like we know it's a game.
It's my cancer.
It's his black tar heroin.
Survival. It's a survival crafting gathering game with dinosaurs. Gather materials, tame dinosaurs,
so grown up.
ride around and rule the island.
So it's a
Pretty
survival
much.
game with dinosaurs.
Anyway.
Okay. So what did they do to piss us off so much? I mean, clearly they didn't. It's not well optimized.
Biggest thing for me, and biggest thing is, they knew the game wasn't finished, but yet they pushed it for it to be released. They knew it wasn't finished. I'm gonna keep repeating that. They knew that it wasn't ready, but they didn't care. They did not care, so they released it anyway.
I did not care.
So they could
I
push
did
out-
not.
They did not. It's that guy in the head of freaking Wildcard
about
World.
its boo-boo.
Anyway, they didn't care about that. The only reason they wanted to get it released that way they could push out a $20 DLC map.
Well, Living and I talked about this. You also got to bring up the fact that before it was made a full game, before it was brought out of beta, it was $30, and then once they released it at $60. So they doubled the price. And I want to say that's the real reason why they pushed it to be a full game out of, early access. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they didn't work on the game too much. They just, instead of optimizing the game, they kept adding in new content over and over and over again. And some of the content was free, some of it was paid for, or some of it you had to pay for. But the community's crying for them to fix the game, and they just keep adding shit in.
It's like they keep adding these dinos in. It's like, fine, but we really don't really care. We don't care. Fix the game. There's so many dinos and animals in the game. It's like, why do you need more? Seriously, fix your dang game.
Also,
and it was frustrating too.
I think that all
the fact that
I think that all the devs are sitting in a room, and they're trying to come up with things on what to do, and one of them thinks of this new shiny thing like a textile that can shoot laser beams. They're like, holy shit, that's awesome. Let's go in that direction. So they start throwing out all this tech, and they're like, oh my god, like no one's stopping us. Think of all the stuff we could do, all this futuristic tech. And then they just completely forgot that this game's sputtering over here.
Yeah, they forgot that the game runs at 5 frames
on a dinosaur. Because that's cool.
Anyway,
that'll sell.
Another thing that pissed me off about the game is the whole Ragnarok situation. They made They made a promise. They made a bigger promise more than they could chew. They bit off more than they could chew. It not only did they keep delaying the game, delaying the Ragnarok map. They were
my god!
How long did they?
Biggest map
how long
ever.
did they delay it?
Months.
Wasn't it like
months and months?
Wasn't it supposed to come out in July?
It finally got released. Yeah,
I think it was
like
the 4th of July was like the big day for it, or something like that.
And it's like we kept getting delayed, and we're thinking it's fine. It's frustrating, but I don't want them to do it. I don't want them to push out anything if it's not ready. It wasn't ready even when they pushed it out.
Yeah, the fucking.
Not only was all the map blocked off, the servers were filled up.
The servers weren't fixed for like 2 weeks.
Not only were the servers filled up, but there was like you could count. There were thousands and thousands of people wanting to play on the new Ragnarok map.
Yep.
Okay? You could count for like weeks. You could count on one hand, maybe two, on how many servers there were for Ragnarok. Okay, and there's only 100 people per server.
Yep.
Like
you got thousands. Like you could not get in a game.
Yeah, it's one of the most popular games to stream. It's one of the most popular games, on PC and Xbox, and you only release 10 servers.
Yeah.
There's more than 1,000 people that play this game.
There's several thousand.
For months.
There's tens of thousands of people.
And we were waiting. It's frustrating because we waited several months of delays, and that's what we got. That's what. You want to know what drove me off the game? That's what drove me off the game. Right there.
It was cause for celebration to even get into the game. It was we're in it. After hours of waiting, staying up all damn night, and finally when you're wanting to go to bed, you finally get in. I remember coming home from work and turning on my Xbox, loading an Ark, and just letting it sit in queue while I go about my business and go about my day. And I'd kind of check in on it every 30 minutes or so. Oh, I'm in! Holy shit!
That game had us with a iron grip.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
Well, you know who can animate?
It's so bad. I'm gonna say, this is like the freaking. All of these companies are bad. I just don't know how you can't beat Wildcard. Like Wildcard is terrible.
Let's not even talk about the black market that's happened in Ark. Like you could buy fake things with real money, and Wildcard didn't even have anything to do with that one.
Some people, I've heard that some people have full-time jobs raising dragons, and I'm sure there's like phoenixes, and the new thing in Aberration is like a rock drake, which I'm not gonna lie, it looks really cool, but I'm not gonna buy Aberration because that pisses me off way too much.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm sure there's people that have like full-time jobs that get paid and can sustain themselves from raising all these damn things and selling them for real money. Like that's ridiculous.
I'm telling you, I know it's not going to happen, but if the FTC gets gets wind of this shit, they're gonna shut that down because that's illegal. Using somebody else's
Is that cat
assets.
food over there?
Yeah, is that cat food over there? No,
I'll have some of that.
using somebody else's assets to earn an income, to make a means of living, that's illegal.
It's fine whenever people are like, "Hey, I'm selling this for this much bullets." That's fine. That's fun. It's in-game stuff. You're not paying anything
That's
for.
trading fake stuff
For
for
fake
fake
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, but
that's fine.
there's
fake
people
stuff.
saying, here's a dragon for $15 via PayPal. That's the
Yeah.
that's gonna, people. It turns out that some players are just as scummy as the developers. I guess to be fair, we can't blame Wildcard for that one. But come on, it's so easy too. It's so easy to actually blame them for it.
How is it that Bungie can crack down and ban all these people on PC?
Oh my God, that's another thing we didn't cover. Bungie banned people when it wasn't even their fault. You guys remember that? Like when
I remember that.
Destiny 2 came out on PC and they banned people for using OBS and they said, "Oh, well these people were, cheating and whatnot." They said they banned them for cheating and they really weren't cheating, and they're like, "Oh, well, it turns out some of the people we banned accidentally." And guess what, man? There's still documented reports of people actually cheating and getting away with it. So, that's because they have those, peer-to-peer servers. Good job, Bungie, for, hogging the fame even after we're talking about a different developer. Speaking of, we need to talk about a different developer. I mean, we shit on Wildcard enough, I think. Let's talk about Bethesda. Bethesda's a little this year. They put out the Creation Club.
What they do?
With what?
They put out the Creation Club. Payback, do you have anything to say about Creation Club since, you're big into mods for Fallout 4?
They really haven't up on Fallout 4 that much with mods.
Have you used the Creation Club?
Kind of happy with it. Have I used it? No.
Yeah, okay.
What do you mean? Like downloaded mods?
Have you downloaded the paid mods that is Creation Club?
No.
Okay, well,
I just have the free ones.
you okay, well, you use the free ones. Okay. Those aren't Creation Club. Basically what Creation Club is that Bethesda came out and said, "Hey, we're going to pay modders to make what they call mini DLC for us." So, you pay for, they make mods, Bethesda pays them to make the mods, and then they release the mods, and you got to pay them. You got to pay Bethesda for them. Well, what they were releasing was, some people said was crap, because what they were releasing and expecting you to pay for was already out and it was free. So, and then when you downloaded the stuff from Creation Club, the stuff you had to pay for, it made the stuff that was free not work, so you had to get rid of it. So basically, they were forcing you to pay for all mods. And this, it was, that's not so bad for Xbox and PC because they have free mods. This was mainly for Sony because PlayStation doesn't have, free mods. This was the only way for them to get mods. They had to pay for it. That was the real gain. Because there's more Sony players than Xbox players, let's be honest. So that's what
I'll say
Bethesda
Sony's
did.
actually pretty winning right now.
Yeah, Sony's been winning the console war for a while then, so far. Xbox shouldn't have never came out with a f***ing Kinect. But that's a different topic. That's what Bethesda did. It's pretty light compared to what we've been talking about, but I think it's still worth mentioning. Let me just check my list real fast. I think I've got one more developer here that's been... Oh, let's talk about Activision. Let's talk about Activision and Call of Duty.
Bungie,
Activision with Call of Duty World War II.
how they screwed that up.
Dish.
Well, because there's loot boxes. This is loot box related. And what they did was they have this hub, right? They have this place where you go and you socialize and and
Correct.
when you unlock when you get a loot box, it drops from the sky. And everybody can see it. Everybody can see your loot box drop from the sky. And they can see what you get. They made an achievement that you get an achievement based on how many of those you watch. So they've turned it into an actual achievement. They turned it into an event where it's a good thing to watch people get other loot boxes, and they incentivize you to do that. So that's what Call of Duty World War II has done. Activision's also put patents on how to manipulate the game in order to, in order to play on your mind to buy loot boxes. They'll match you with people who have DLC weapons that are good, and they'll kick your ass with it, and then they'll show you what they have, and then they'll put a loot box there, and they'll say, hey, if you want this, you can buy this for $2.99 or some shit. They've put a patent on that. That's pretty I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to get a little numb to all the bullshit we've been talking about these games. But that's luckily that's all the developers, so we got to choose the worst one. So what vote do you guys have for this one?
Since I care
Eric, you
too
want to go
much,
first?
We've got
I gotta give it. I'm gonna give it to Bungie.
okay, yeah, we've got
It
Bungie,
is unforgivable.
we've got Bungie, EA, Bluehole, Take-Two, Wildcard Bethesda, and Activision.
Is there an all of the above?
I wish there was, but there's not. There can only be one. So
Well, according to the
There
universe
could be
now,
one
everyone's a winner.
dishonorable winner.
no, we are not that. We are better than that. We are Team Maverick, and we say there will be winners and there will be losers.
All right.
Personally, it's a close one between EA and Bungie, but I think I'm gonna lean towards Bungie on this one.
I think I'm gonna go with my instinct on this one. Can we just call him like Bungie?
Bungie, that's a good
Bungie.
one. When fucking
I'm gonna
EA
go with,
when the contract between Bungie and Activision goes runs dry, EA will buy out Bungie. How about that?
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Bungie.
Okay.
They've been caught doing a lot of bad shit, and they do the whole we're investigating it. We hear your feedback. Things aren't working the way we want them to be, and it's all just bullshit. And they've destroyed one of my favorite games. Like Destiny was one of my most played games.
That f***ing random chipmunk.
Panic's getting excited.
Get that?
What?
I'm assuming it's Panic.
What?
So I'm talking, and you're laughing about it. So who's more likely to eat chips, Toxic or Panic?
Panic did it.
Well, you can tell I ain't doing it.
You can hear it in
can
the
tell.
I watch it.
I'm not doing it.
So we got 3 votes. We've got 3 votes for Bungie. Payback, what's your vote?
All of the above.
There cannot be an all of the above.
Bungie.
It's a unanimous decision. Bungie is the worst developer of 2017, and it is well deserved. We need to make them a
Let's
plaque
go.
and
Too many
send
bad
it.
things.
Let's make a plaque
They've
and
done
send
too
it
many
to
bad
them.
things.
I'm actually gonna come out and say Destiny 2 is probably the most disappointing game of the year.
Yeah,
It
it's
had
pretty.
I mean, we
so
all
much
knew
fucking
what
promise.
EA was gonna do. We
I'm-
all kind of knew what EA was gonna do, but Destiny 2 had so much promise.
I'm
Especially after like I don't know if you guys played like the last tail end of Destiny 2. Like I'm including Rise of Iron and like
You mean
the
Destiny
last bit of Destiny 1, yeah, I'm sorry. The last bit of Destiny, like they just unlocked just everything, and there was so much shit to do. Like I could still log into that game, and there's shit that I could go and do and unlock and go earn, not pay for, but go earn in this loot-based game. Go earn stuff by doing stuff, and it was like the best time, one of the best times with Destiny. Besides like learning, like when we first started playing Destiny, and learning what it's all about, and then doing like Trials of Osiris and Skolas. You know, those are like
Skolas.
2 of the best
Yeah.
times, and then the third best time was the very tail end of Destiny, where all the raids were unlocked, and you know there were elemental primaries back, and there was these boxes of, or not boxes, but like these books of prestige things you can go out and do to like prove like you're a badass Destiny player and you did all this stuff. Like there was so much shit to do, and there was so, and it was great. Like everything you did leveled you up, and like it was perfect. And I went into Destiny 2 thinking, you know, if they keep it like this, and then progress forward. Like, this game's going to be amazing. And they took so many steps back, and then with all these issues that have arisen after all these steps back, I mean, it's how can you not vote for Bungie? I mean, they have ruined it.
They've
all
fucked
the
up
favor
bad.
they have gained from the Halo series is gone, in my opinion. There's none of this. Oh well, it's Bungie. No,
No,
Bungie has tarnished their name. Bungie has f***ing tarnished themselves.
It's not
It
the
is a
same
damn
Bungie,
shame.
man. It's not the same Bungie.
No, it's not. It's not. Same name, completely different team, and it is so disappointing.
I need my boy Jason Jones back.
Where the hell's Jason Jones, anyways? Who's he working for?
Isn't he with 343?
I don't know. By the way, congrats 343 for keeping your head down and not even getting a mention.
That is true. Good job.
That is true.
I don't like
They-
Halo 5.
I mean,
props.
yeah, we
About it.
collectively hate Halo 5, but Jesus, they've hidden the shadows on this one.